So, you know the character I use in all of my speedruns? Yeah, his name is Wolfgang. Now, the reason why Wolfgang is so good for these speedruns is because all you had to do was eat a bunch of food, then that would cause him to move faster, do up to double damage, and have a higher max HP. But he got drastically changed in a recent update, so naturally I wanted to do another all-boss speedrun, and then I accidentally broke my record. So, how did Wolfgang get changed? I'll put the exact details on screen, but TLDR is he no longer gains damage from purely eating food, he no longer has a natural speed bonus, he no longer has a higher max HP, so instead Wolfgang either needs to train at a craftable, non-portable gym, or train with a portable dumbbell to fill his mighty meter. This new mighty meter drains slowly, but it drains faster the less hunger Wolfgang has, and when his mighty meter is above 75, he becomes mighty, which gives him a flat 2 times damage. So the biggest thing here is that he no longer has a natural speed bonus, and I had to jump through hoops and do extra steps to make him mighty, aka I need to train him. So ultimately I thought, damn, well, I don't have the speed bonus that I would normally have during the first part of the run. Due to this, I had to change the route I would take at the start of the run, and while I was streaming, I had to reset this run 4 ghost darn times. That's how much more RNG the start of the run is. Anyway, I held a giveaway in my other boss run video, and the winners are on screen now. I'm gonna message you through YouTube, or I will message you via your Steam if you left your Steam, so good job, congratulations, and let's start the run. So the world settings are set to default, except the forest is set to small, and the caves are set to medium. This will reduce the RNG of the run a little bit. All of the mods that I sometimes use are linked in the description. Let's try to speed run through the early days. So day 1, I want a stack of grass, a stack of twigs, at least 2 flint, pick up all the carrots I can see, and find the mosaic biome. The mosaic biome is always attached to this starter biome that we're currently in. Okay, we found a rook piece already. That's one of the things that we don't have a duplicate for. What the hell are you talking about duplicates? Well, if you see on the map, we have a set piece which has 2 knights and 1 bishop. That means in this world there are 3 knight heads, 2 bishop heads, and at least 1 rook head. So we found the rarest head first, so this is good RNG. Day 2, we found where the mosaic biome is, so we're getting about 24 gold nuggets. Now here's a little bit of a new strat. The best dumbbell that Wolfgang can make is called a gem bell, and unsurprisingly, you need a purple gem to craft it. Now one way to get a purple gem is getting a red gem and a blue gem, and you can combine them to make a purple gem. As you can see, I get a red gem and a blue gem. So we're done with these graves here. We're gonna wallop down the science machine to get some resources back, because we're not basing here, no. Yes, a living tree. You all know what this gives me, 3 living logs, except because of the new route I'm taking, I need 6 of these. Well, actually I need 5, but I need to find 2 living trees to get 5 living logs, so the search continues. Then I jump through the wormhole and I find a triple Mactusk biome. You can tell it's a triple Mactusk biome because no other biome has both savanna and rocky turf. This is good pace. Nearly day 3 and we've already found a bunch of pigs. In fact, we found a pig village. The good thing about a pig village is that it is in a forest which has spiders, mushrooms, of course pigs, and that is everything that I need. So this is a really good biome. Also, I thought it was funny, this little set piece spawned carrots on top of each other. You can see I'm picking 2 carrots at a time when there looks like there's just 1. I also forgot to mention, Wolfgang's sanity drains a little bit faster now, because I'm already insane. This is actually a buff, because now I get more nightmare fuel without trying, so thanks. Now I start gathering the remains from my crimes against the Lorax, before getting heckin' double teamed by some frogs. Knock knock, rent stew. What's that? You haven't paid your rent? Well, I'm taking your house and your life. Now there is a weapon that I want to make. I wonder if you know what it is. It's something about like, it's something that resembles a big chunk of meat. So to make a chunk of meat, I need to kill some meat. So we're gonna kill the pigs until I get 2 bits of meat, then I can make a trusty hambat, which has infinite uses, but its damage goes down over time since it degrades like food. Also, you're probably wondering why I'm not using the dumbbell I have in my inventory to get mighty. Using the low level dumbbells, it takes forever to get mighty, so by the time I got mighty, I could have just killed all the pigs while I was wimpy. The only downside to being wimpy, you deal 25% less damage, but that's not a big deal. It means everything takes like 1 more hit to die. So we're throwing down the alchemy engine. We're going to prototype a crock pot because that'll save us some inventory space, since now we have 1 stack of charcoal rather than 46, which takes up 2 stacks. And we're going to continue pillaging. Hello, let me in. So after coming down here, we immediately found some bunny hutches. This will be good for later, but for now we're just grabbing 2 light bulbs and then heading straight back up. These birds are so gosh darn annoying. So I smashed down my alchemy engine, pre-built another one, and then the first grave I dig up gives me gears. This is kind of annoying because if it didn't knock down my alchemy engine yet, I could have prototyped a icebox. This would have used up the gears to free up some more inventory space, but oh well. So I know that Chester can spawn in this mini swamp inside of the pig village, but I can't find him, and my inventory is full, so it'd be a really nice time to find Chester right now. So that's my main goal. Now usually I don't collect the reeds from this swamp because it doesn't give me enough reeds. Because of the route I'm doing, I don't immediately need these reeds. I only immediately need 8. So the other 10 reeds I can get later when these reeds have regrown rather than finding the big swamp. Nice place, homie. Shame if something were to happen to it. Yo, what the hell? I didn't even notice it. This is the chest that contains the terrarium, so that was the easiest terrarium I've ever found in my life. Usually around the terrarium chest there could be some danger, and the most common form of danger is 4 pig guards, which are really annoying to kill and really annoying to dodge. Also, out of habit, I've been collecting seeds because, if you know, we need potatoes at some point in this run. But this update changed the meta entirely. When I craft my gym, it comes with 2 potato sacks. These potato sacks, you can hammer for 1 potato each. This means I simply don't need to farm throughout the entire run. Did I mention we're gonna make all the spiders go extinct? Because we need their silk and their monster meat. Yes. We found a living tree. This is the final living tree that we needed. Mandrake into my pockets. Oh, hey Bee Queen, what's up? Gosh darn it, where's Chester? There's a cobble road. The stagehand is there. He must be nearby. So I search. And I search. And we found him, my boy. Come home to me, little man. Hello, Mr. Buffalo. Basic old school rest luring. I promise you, I have something special for you over here. Just follow me. Bring all your expensive items with you, including your 4 meats. Time to die. So beefalo are actually really good to kill because A, I need the beefalo fur for a saddle and a beefalo hat, and B, they give you 4 meat each time. But if you're gonna do this, make sure you leave some beefalo alive. Is that the knight head? It is indeed. So we have found a rook head, a knight head, and we still need to find the bishop head and the set piece to put them all. Chester's getting real lonely, so we're gonna have to make him some new friends. So let's capture some buddies against their will. I'm sorry, Chester, these friends are for me, not for you. So now we're gonna prototype a prestidigitator, which is a science machine but for magic, but we're not gonna place it yet. Don't tell cat person, but these kitty cats are the easiest way to get big meat if you want to make a hambat. So right now I'm deciding where to base, and I was thinking, damn, if there was a sinkhole right here, it would be really handy. Oh. There's a sinkhole right where I wanted one to be. So we're definitely going to base here. Now, unfortunately, there's 2 set pieces with some marble statues kind of in the way. We're going to have to mine them out of the way, which is going to take some time, and we'll probably have to evict our clockwork knight neighbor. So the core components of the base, the alchemy engine, the prestidigitator, the 6 crockpots, and the at least 1 fridge. And then the gosh darn bat's back again. So we're going to craft that purple gem, and bam, there it is, the mightiest of the dumbbells. So yeah, I don't think it's worth making any of the other 2 dumbbells, so I just go straight for the gem bell, just in case you want to play the reworked Wolfgang. Now we're going to make the bird that we put into our bird cage chug a whole stack of monster meat so that we can get lots of eggies. You know what recipe requires eggs? That's right, pierogies! Pierogies heal you for 40 health, and now that I don't need that much hunger because Wolfgang has a flat 1.5 times hunger drain rather than a variable one that goes up to 3 times, hunger food like meaty stew isn't too necessary, so I can just survive off a pierogi. And there it is, the mighty gym. Before I leave the base, I should get mighty by using this gym, and then only if I need to, I'm going to use the gem bell to top up my mightiness while I'm on the go. But if I keep my hunger above 75% and I leave the base at 100 mightiness, my mighty form will last for about 6.5 minutes, which is usually enough time for most boss fights. So with the default mighty gym you get when you build it, it took me over a minute to get fully mighty. But don't worry, you can upgrade this gym. All you have to do is build some boss statues and load up the gym with boss statues. But we haven't killed a boss yet. Or have we? It's the time for the first boss. Now, if you've watched my previous speedruns, you'll know that I usually do Bee Queen first. Since Wolfgang no longer has a speed bonus, Bee Queen uses up a whole lot more food and armor and time than before. And you would also know that usually I kill Dragonfly before going to the ruins. So you'll never guess what I'm going to do after Dragonfly. But let's talk about Dragonfly. So you can see I'm using the path to make it a little bit easier to kite Dragonfly. Dragonfly is a bit finicky to kite, since if Dragonfly is moving as she initiates her attack, she will continue moving throughout her attack, meaning she'll kind of slide forward and hit you. So the way to kite Dragonfly is you step back a little bit, then right as she starts her swing, then you move out of her attack range. That way she doesn't start moving and therefore will not slide forward. Otherwise, chasing Dragonfly around her arena is a lot slower because you have no speed bonus, but it's fine. We'll put Dragonfly to sleep, kill the last larvae, and then we'll continue the fight. So when the second larvae phase starts, things start heating up. Literally. I started getting very close to overheating, and when you overheat, you take about 1.25 damage per second. This wouldn't usually happen, but when Wolfgang is mighty, he's more resistant to freezing, which means I think that's causing me to overheat easier. So as you can see, I'm losing a lot of health just by being too hot. But whatever, we'll chug pierogies to get through the pain, and we'll continue the fight. Damn, it was getting kind of close to the end there. You could see my HP is like below half and I only had one pierogi left. That's how much damage I took from overheating. Hound trying to steal my victory meat, absolutely not. Anyway, Dragonfly drops at least one of every gem, and the gems can be used in the ruins. So if I get bad RNG in the ruins, I'll just use Dragonfly's gems. And he also drops a blueprint for a scaled furnace, which gives you infinite heat and a little bit of light in a small radius, which is very good for winter. No way we found the set piece. So I lied, we're not going to the ruins yet, because I want to make sure that I know where all the shadow pieces are. Wait a second, what the heck's going on here? Oh yeah, so again, I forgot. We need to fight the Eye of Terror. The Eye of Terror only has 5,000 health, so you can easily do it in one night as Wolfgang. So let's go. He has two basic attacks. He will dash directly towards you. It will do a bunch of damage, but it's super easy to dodge. And he has an attack where he poops out a minion. This minion stays dormant for a little bit, but it will wake up and start attacking you. But usually the fight's over before the minions wake up. Oh good, we've entered phase 2. So once you drop his health below a certain amount, he grows a mouth and basically his attacks just become better and he becomes faster. So now when he dashes multiple times and he will spawn more minions when he does spawn minions. Unfortunately, I didn't quite kill him in time, which is really annoying because I wanted to go to the ruins ASAP, but now I need to wait for nighttime again to fight the boss. That boss only spawns at nighttime, and if I drop his HP then don't fight him the next night over, the terrarium turns off and I have to wait 15 days for him to respawn. Hello Beefalo, you are mine now, come with me. I'm gonna need a Beefalo later, so I'm just gonna steal him now while I have downtime waiting for this boss to spawn. Oh shoot, it's a full moon as well, we need to go rescue Glommer. Oh look, the Eye of Terror, hold on. Oh. Are you serious? The Eye of Terror was one hit away from dying. Gosh darn it. If only I got one extra hit in the night before, he would have died. Now please brace yourselves. We have just witnessed a crime against the gods. A werepig slayed Glommer before I got there and then ate all of his remains. All that remains are Glommer's wings. We will take these wings in remembrance. But anyway, to the ruins we go. Whee! It took me less than a day to find the ruins this time, so that's nice. We have all of our gems, our living logs, and some nightmare fuel ready to craft what we need. And we found the entrance to the ruins. Yippee! So what we'll be doing down here is mining these statues because we need 3 yellow gems, and I already have 1, so I need 2, and we already have all the green gems we need. You'll also notice when I rush the ruins, I try to avoid combat as much as possible because combat is just a waste of time, and killing the clockworks doesn't really get you anything other than some gears and frazzled wires, which is not the main thing that we need. The main thing we need are gems and Thulsite. Now I swiftly left this area because it was the nightmare phase, and there were at least 4 nightmare lights back there. A nightmare light can spawn up to 2 shadow creatures at a time, so that would be potentially 8 shadow creatures that I'd have to fight. That's actually kind of dangerous, even though I'm playing Wolfgang. So I make a Magiluminescence from this machine and then I hammer it because I already found the full station. The full station allows you to craft all of the recipes available in the ruins, whereas a broken station only gives you like half the recipes. And you can hammer full stations to get 2 Thulsite and 2 random items or enemies. So in this case, I got a shadow creature and some spelunkies. Now technically, this is the final yellow gem that I needed, even though there is a room full of 8 Thulsite statues that I really want to mine, but I'm not going to spend time in autumn doing that because I don't have a lot of time. I'm literally getting the bare minimum I need and then leaving. So I head back to the full station, annihilate the bishops that are defending it. Now what's the checklist for down here? Well, a Magiluminescence, which we already made, 2 Starcaller staffs, a deconstruction staff, a construction amulet, a Thulsite club. That is a new thing that I never used to craft, but this weapon gives you a 10% speed bonus, which is not as good as the walking cane, but it'll do until we get a walking cane, and 1 sad, lonely Thulsite crown. So I need to take back at least 1 Thulsite to the surface for later, so I could only make 1 Thulsite crown. And it's day 15, we need to get back to the surface. Ignore the mayhem being caused by the nightmare monkeys. Back on the surface, we are zooming around with our Magiluminescence and Thulsite clubs. Now we just need to find the bishop head. But first, I need to test my newfound speed bonus. It makes me so indestructible. I can move so fast again. What the heck? Another night head? Gosh darn it, I thought that was the bishop head for a second. Oh. No, I am not having a heart attack, but instead I was just extremely relieved because like I said before this run, I had to reset 4 times because I couldn't find all of the shadow pieces in time. So now we have to take the shadow pieces, put them in place, and then we are defeating one more boss before we fight the shadow bosses. Bam! Bishop delivered. Knight delivered. And finally, the Rook's Nose has been delivered, and we are on the night of day 17. So our time is looking pretty good. Next, I built some Dragonfly statues and threw them on my mighty gym. Now look how fast I get mightiness. From 0 to 100 mightiness, it took me about 15 seconds. So that's 4 times faster than the potato sacks. Definitely worth killing a boss to get those boss statues. Wakey wakey, it's death time, Bee Queen. So I did calculate that I could use the entire Thulsite Club on Bee Queen and it will be enough to kill her. But I made a handbat just in case I ran out of weapons during the fight. So now we have 3 Beekeeper hats, 13 Pierogi, Magiluminescence and a Thulsite Club, and 2.5 Pan Flutes. Now since I have so much speed bonus, I probably won't use up all of those Pierogis, nor will I use up all of those Beekeeper hats, but we'll see by the end of the fight. So let's talk about the fight itself. So Bee Queen has 4 phases, and phase 1 she spawns 1 group of bees, and she will only respawn those group of bees if you kill all of them. So at the start of the fight I put everything to sleep, killed all but 1 of the Grumblebees, and now we're just face tanking Bee Queen. But once phase 2 starts, she summons 2 groups of Grumblebees, and if you kill them, she just instantly respawns more. So the strategy here is to spam the Pan Flute to put them to sleep so that I can get hits in on Bee Queen. But now phase 3 starts. Phase 3 changes quite drastically. So as you can see, Bee Queen will occasionally scream, causing her Grumblebees to increase their speed and chase you. Although here, I think it was a little bit bugged, because every time she did this attack, some of her Grumblebees would just go straight back to Bee Queen, which made things kind of complicated, because the idea is to have all of the Grumblebees chase you, you lead them far away and then put them to sleep, and then you have time to 1v1 Bee Queen without the Grumblebees interrupting you. But since there was a bunch of Grumblebees around Bee Queen, the phase was a bit messy, and it basically slowed down the fight a little bit. Also, something about the Thulsite Club I forgot to mention. Every time a hit connects, it has a chance to spawn a Shadow Tentacle. This Shadow Tentacle does additional damage to whatever you're attacking, so this Thulsite Club actually does pretty good damage. Although it's still not as good damage as a Dark Sword on Wolfgang. That's only because the Shadow Tentacles don't benefit from Wolfgang's double damage multiplier. Phase 4! Phase 4 is basically the same as Phase 3, except when she screams to speed up her Grumblebees, she just does that like a little bit more often. So it gives you a little less time to use your Pierogis and stuff. And the Bee Queen falls to Wolfgang's might once again. So a lot of people pointed out that this rework is actually a buff. First of all, for me, I don't think this rework is a buff, even though I got a faster time this run. But Wolfgang's damage multiplier used to scale linearly with his hunger, whereas now, as long as you're mighty, you just get double damage flat no matter what. But when I would use Wolfgang back in the day, I would always eat carrots or something to keep my hunger at max, so I would be doing almost double damage most of the time. But anyway, Bee Queen is dead. The bundling wrap blueprint is ours. Bundling wrap is super powerful, so once you have some bundling wrap, you can store 4 stacks of any item inside the bundling wrap. It saves that item in its current state. So for example, if you bundle up an animal or some food, the animal's hunger will get paused and the food spoilage will get paused. Now we're going to be using this to bundle up food later so that we don't have to gather as much food. Look at my beautiful scaled furnace. Infinite heat. Yo. Nice, we got a Tusk on the first kill. That's correct, winter has started. So this is the Mactusk. We did have a triple Mactusk biome, but we got the Mactusk on the first Mactusk try, so that's good. 50% drop rate, so that's kind of lucky. Now this Mactusk makes the walking cane. The walking cane, while you're wearing it, increases your movement speed by 25%. Another reason why we still have the Thulsite Club is because if we got bad RNG and didn't get a walking cane on the first day of winter, we can still kite the Shadow Rook that we're going to be fighting next because we have enough speed bonus with a Magiluminescence, a Thulsite Club, and a road. But while we wait for the night of day 21 to fight the shadow bosses, let's farm some goats, because we do need a total of 5 Vault Goat Horns. Vault Goat Horns have a 25% drop rate, meaning we'll need to kill about 20 goats, and goats spawn once every 2 or 3 days, which means I do need to be farming them for the first like 50 or 60 days of the run. I am sorry Thulsite Club, but you have been replaced with a nice new walking cane. We're gonna throw down this Starcrawler staff so that I can see the shadow bosses once I lure them to this path, and the night has started. Now these bosses can only spawn on a new moon. If you're uneducated like me, then a new moon is when the moon is fully not visible, and so we've already put the heads on, so all we have to do is mine them and that spawns the bosses. So as always, we're gonna kill the knight first because he is the easiest to kill first and the hardest one to kill last. Now both the rook and the bishop like to teleport on top of you and then do their attacks. The rook does one big attack, which you can dodge with enough speed bonus. The bishop does lots of little attacks, which hits pretty hard, and even if you have a lot of speed bonus, you usually get hit at least once. So since we can dodge the rook 100% of the time, we're going to be killing the bishop next. Right, I forgot to say, every time you kill one of the 3 bosses, the other 2 or the other 1 level up. And so at the end of the fight, you're fighting a level 3 version of one of the bosses. And so for us, it's going to be the Shadow Rook. Let's speed run through this fight because it's basically just dodging and hitting. And he has been defeated, and wait, what's that? He dropped a heart. I wonder if we'll need this later to spawn another boss. Nice crib, homie. I'm just gonna steal this nest real quick. So if you kill a level 3 spider nest, it drops some spider eggies. And these eggs you can plant anywhere, so I'm gonna plant them near my base, so if I want some monster meat, all I have to do is go to the nest and kill some spiders. So next, you know exactly what we're doing. We're gathering ice and chopping down dead trees. Ice is good filler for the crockpot, and I'll need it to make some ice cream later. And we're chopping down dead trees for pine cones, so that we can plant them so that Deerclops can run over them to get us enough wood for the run, and chopping down dead trees gives us a chance at spawning tree guards, which gives living logs and nightmare fuel makes dark swords, the best weapons in the game. Unfortunately, I did not quite anger the Lorax as much as I'd want to because I only got 2 tree guards, which is not quite enough living logs for everything in the run. Trees! Now I actually planted too many trees. I think if you're a good pirate and don't sink all of your ships like I do, you only need to plant about 60 pine cones for enough wood for the entire run, but I think I planted about 100. But now that we have living logs, it's time to make a shadow manipulator, which is an alchemy engine, but for magic. We're gonna make those 2 dark swords, which we're going to save for the twin terrors, which we will be killing, not quite yet, because the next boss is Klaus. So after about 45 seconds of searching, I found the deer, grabbed an antler, then went back to my base, and then I realized that Klaus spawned really close to my base, so found him really fast as well. We start the fight. Klaus has a few phases, but let's focus on the first one. The first one he simply does, he'll do 2 swipes, then you dodge, he'll do 2 swipes again, and then he'll do a magic attack with one of his gem deers. The fire one makes lava appear on the floor, which makes you start overheating, and the ice one does the opposite. It makes you start freezing, and if you stay on the patch of frozen ice for too long, it'll just freeze you. Now you'll see these magic attacks I dodge by going through Klaus. That way, while he's finishing off the magic attack animation, I can get a few hits off of him, making the fight go a little bit faster. But now he has spawned 2 Crampi, and this pig, you think he would actually help me, but he actually messes up the fight quite a bit, because Klaus's deer's magic attacks, they target everything hostile around Klaus, meaning this piggy is causing 2 times the magic attacks to appear, which is making me take more damage, and it's messing up my placement, because I've moved very specifically to avoid the magic attacks. Oh, we've been bamboozled again, boys. Klaus has been resurrected and now has a pounce attack. Now, as you see, because I have enough speed bonus, what I can do is if I stay really close to him until right before he pounces, I can move at the last second and avoid the pounce attack. Otherwise, if you run away too early, he jumps further and therefore he will hit you. Oh, what a cheap shot. What the hell? Let's open up our presents. Whee! 1 Krampus sack, please. I haven't seen a Krampus sack in ages. Oh. I'm not going to use it, but there you go. I haven't seen a Krampus sack in a very long time. There it is. So inside one of Krampus's presents, you have a 10% chance to get a Krampus sack, and I got it. Now, of course, this is a 1 in 10 chance, so I'm not going to use the Krampus sack. Not only because it would be kind of unfair because it's like really big RNG, but also there's no point during the run where I need as much inventory space as the Krampus sack gives. If you don't know what the Krampus sack is, it's just a backpack which can't be destroyed, and it has lots of inventory spaces. Now, before we farm the goats again, we're going to get some bone shards because we need 4 of these to make an umbrella. A quick tip that I think people don't use in winter is don't be afraid to light things on fire, like trees and spiky bushes, so that you can get some easy light and some temporary heat. So I had a little bit of downtime, and during winter is where like I might struggle for food a little bit, so I decided to kill a bunch of beefalo, and it actually worked out quite well because, as you can see, there's a whole lot of beefalo in this savannah. So I obliterated some of them for some extra meat. Oh goodness, it's time for the twin terrors. So I know it is possible with this fight to kill both of them in one night with Mighty Wolfgang. It is possible. Will I do it? Well, it would be nice if I did, because that would save me a bunch of time, because it means I don't have to fight these guys tomorrow. So, as people have told me, this twin is actually green, not blue. Sorry, in the game he looks kind of blue. But we're going to kill this guy first. So there are multiple strategies for killing these twins, but we're going to just straight up kill this guy first, because he's the most dangerous one. And so how they work is once you drop one of the twins to below a certain amount of health, they both transform and both grow mouths. And much like the Eye of Cthulhu, all this does is enhance their attacks. So the green one dashes faster, whereas the red one simply spawns more minions. Also dashes faster, but it's not as fast as the green one. So the green one is dead and the night isn't even half over. So since the red one spawns a lot of minions, there's 2 things that you can do to avoid the minions. One is use the pan flute to put everything to sleep, then kill the minions. What I tend to do is when the red one does a dash attack, I try to make him dash as far away as possible from his minions. That way I don't have to waste time using the pan flute or killing minions. Uh-oh, someone forgot to bring their thermal stone. So I start freezing, but it's okay because I won't take a lot of freezing damage, so I'm just going to eat a jelly bean which restores 2 HP every 2 seconds, and that'll be able to tank the freezing damage until the fight's over. And I can also just, you know, light a tree on fire for some temporary heat. But this was annoying because it wasted a little bit of my time during the fight, so now I really need to do as many hits as I can, otherwise I might not be able to finish this fight during this night. No, daytime is here. That means he's gonna despawn. Yes! What an idiot! That's what you get for dashing. You die. So because the twin was stuck in his dashing animation, it took him for a second to despawn. So that allowed me to get the hits in necessary to kill him. So we killed the twin terrors of one night. That's really good. No. I can't believe you just did this.
I can't believe you've done this.
Right, well, you're going outside. Bad kitty. Clean up on aisle 12. The cat tried to jump on my desk and knocked over my 2-litre water bottle. It paused the game, right? Look! This entire bottle just got emptied onto my floor. That's okay. He's still cute, so it's fine. I hear chaos going on over there. Don't you dare shoot me. I'm not even attacking you. Hello? Free Tam. Oh, and a cane. Wow. Now I have a little bit of downtime while waiting for Deerclops to spawn on the night of day 30, so I'm finally digging up saplings and tufts so I can plant them at my base, so that I have my own supply of twigs and grass. Well, hello, Deerclops. Can I interest you in a contract as a lumberjack? No? Okay, well, follow me. So, as usual, we used a sign to bait out Deerclops to make sure he didn't go towards our base, and we're going to use him to chop down all the trees that we planted in a nice long straight line. If you don't plant the trees in almost an exact line, then you'll struggle to get Deerclops to run over them, since his hitbox is really small, so he needs to be right on top of the tree to knock it down. Anyway, now that all the trees have been knocked down, it's time to kill Deerclops. Now, I will note, if you have like a spider quarry in your world, you can use Deerclops to kill all of the spiders and get a bunch of silken meat, but, you know, I don't, and that would be kind of slow, and the spiders could eat Deerclops' eyeball if he dies. So we're going to do one hit, then step back so we don't get our sanity drained as fast, then we do 3 hits, and then we dodge. If you're doing this without as much speed bonus, you can do 1 hit, step back, then do 2 hits, and then dodge. But anyway, Deerclops is dead, Deerclops' eyeball is ours, and now we can make an umbrella. So it's day 31, that's a full moon. If you remember, on day 11, Glommer got killed by a pig, so we have to go get Glommer, and we'll also transform Chester into Shadow Chester. By putting 1 nightmare fuel into each of his slots, Shadow Chester has 3 extra inventory spaces. So now I'm preparing to go on the ocean, and before I go on the ocean, I do need some stingers from these bees, because you need 2 stingers to make a boat patch, which I'll need if I accidentally crash my boat and it causes like a hole to happen in my boat or something. And judging by the shape of the map, it's extremely obvious that the Lunar Island is just above and to the left of the Dragonfly Desert. So I hop on the boat, and then stop. I found some driftwood. So we're going to immediately turn our booties around and go make a driftwood ore. So with this update, Wolfgang does row a little bit faster when he's mighty, but it's definitely still worth it to make a better ore. So the wooden one that you make with 1 log is really bad and you move really slowly, but a driftwood ore, which you can make with 1 driftwood, moves very fast. So expectedly, I found the Lunar Island and I found a bottle which is going to tell me where the crab lady is. We need to do some tasks for the crab lady for her to give us a pearl, and you need this pearl, well, for later. I'll explain it later. But anyway, somewhat of a new strat is go to the Lunar Island at the end of winter to grab some bull kelp. Now, bull kelp grows kelp once every 2 or 3 days, and this kelp counts as a vegetable in the crock pot. And you know what vegetables make? Pierogi! And I don't really have any self-sufficient source of getting vegetables since I am not farming. So we're gonna ignore the stone fruit bushes because they take too much time to set up, and we're gonna go straight to the beach where all of the beached bull kelp is. When we get back to the base, we can plant this in water, that's why a base close to the ocean, and then every 2 or 3 days it will grow a vegetable that we can just pick. Very nice, would highly recommend. And nice, cookie cutters, this is the other thing we needed to find. We need 10 cookie cutter shells for one of Pearl's tasks. Also, while we're here, we're going to pick up 10 salt crystals, and you can get 3 salt crystals from mining those salt pillars. But you know, if you're a bad pirate like me, you could just ram your ship into the salt pillars to mine them to mine them without using a pickaxe. And you can use 10 of these salt crystals to make a salt box, which slows food spoilage down by 4 times. A fridge only does it by 2 times. Is that Crab King? How are you today, friend? Yes, comrade, I agree, absolutely. Well, I shall see you later. Say, Crab King, have you seen a Malbatross nearby? No? So yes, the final thing we are looking for is Malbatross. Now, I wasn't actually looking for Crab King since there is a way to find him later on, but it's nice that we found him now. But now we continue the search to find a Malbatross. I'm not being greedy, I have enough bull kelp. I'm not gonna jump onto this island to grab more bull kelp. I'm not going to do it. Nope. No, I'm not gonna do it. Oh, would you look at the time? It's bull kelp time. Whee! Sorry, I had a seizure. What happened? Yes, we were rowing and not jumping on islands to grab more bull kelp than we need. Yes, that's correct. Hello, Wavy. You have claimed my boats too many times, but not this run. Alright, also, hot tip. Build your fire pit in the middle of your boat and then build everything else around the fire pit. So it started raining, so I made an umbrella because we do have to give an umbrella to the crab lady as one of her tasks. And we're going to plant all of that beautiful bull kelp. Oh, a Malbatross spawn. Malbatross spawn, do it. Okay, we found the Malbatross spawner, that's all that matters. Alright, cool. I jumped back onto the ocean to give the umbrella to the crab lady, but it immediately stopped raining. But at least we found the Malbatross spawner. Damn, my damage has become electrified. So if you wallop Vault Goats with a Morning Star, which is something I prepared off screen earlier, it electrifies them, and then when they die, they drop electric goat milk. This milk you can use to make ice cream, which just restores 50 sanity. So yeah, we'll use this sanity later during boss fights or before boss fights. Like Fuelweaver. To actually spawn Malbatross, we needed to go fishing. So I'm going to make some lures and a fishing rod so that we can actually do fishing. And then we're going to head back to Malbatross. Now, every time I hook one of these deep bass from this shoal that I found on the map, there is a 10% chance that it will spawn Malbatross. So, you know, there is a chance that I could fish the entire shoal and Malbatross doesn't spawn. And guess what happened? I fished the entire shoal and Malbatross didn't spawn. So this shoal does respawn. It just takes 2 or 3 days. So we'll come back there then to try spawn Malbatross later. Now it's goose hunting season. This is the spring seasonal boss, the Moose Goose. There will be multiple of these in your world, and we need to kill all of them. Well, actually, later I find out I didn't need to kill all of them. They drop a unique item called Moose Goose feathers, and these feathers are part of a recipe for a very essential bit of equipment called the weather pane. And the weather pane you use for a lot of boss fights in this run. The basic Moose Goose fighting pattern is to do 4 hits, then dodge. If you don't have as much speed bonus, you can just do 3 hits, then dodge. Then every 3rd Moose Goose attack, he will honk, causing you to drop whatever you're holding in your weapon slot, but you could just quickly hold spacebar to pick it back up. Then once the Moose Goose dies, the babies will become enraged and they'll start doing a spinning attack towards you. At this point, all you have to do is walk perpendicular to the direction they are coming at you towards. At this point, we've got so much meat, we are fully utilizing our salt box, which again reduces the spoilage time of all your food by 4 times. Well, I say all your food. You can only put raw food in it, like raw meat and raw vegetables. Hound attack, more like a meat delivery time. Now begins the next other section of big RNG. So, we're going into the caves because we need 3 things. We need to find 3 things. 1, we need to find the tentacle pillar that takes us to Fuelweaver's chamber. 2, we need to find Toadstool. Toadstool has 3 spawners, all of which have random locations where they spawn. But even if I find a spawner, it only has a 1 in 3 chance of having Toadstool, since he has 3 spawners and he can only be in one of them at a time. And thirdly, but also the easiest, is I need to find these little cave spider nests, because if you mine them, you're guaranteed to get at least 1 fossil fragment, sometimes even 2, and we need 8 of these to, you guessed it, spawn Fuelweaver. So we get all 8 fossil fragments that we needed really quickly, so that's pretty good. Also, if you don't know how to kill these tentacle pillars, with a mighty Wolfgang and a Morning Star, you can hit them 3 times, then run away, then run to the other side of them where there are no more mini tentacles, then do 3 more hits and it'll die. And then, this was only like the 3rd or 4th tentacle pillar that I found, but hey, it took me to the atrium. I'm gonna mark it with a sign so that I don't forget. And now we gotta continue looking for Toadstool. 1 in 3 chance. Oh, nice. Okay, well, we found everything in the caves day 47, so that's like good RNG. This is good RNG because I only needed to return to the surface by day 50 or 51 so that I can turn a Starcaller staff into a Mooncaller staff doing the Moonstone Event. Speaking of the Moonstone Event, let's set up. So I surround the Moonstone in walls except for one side where I plant some fossils. That way all of the werepigs and hounds that spawn will get stuck on the fossils and they won't be able to break the Starcaller staff. Oh, yes! As you can see, I went fishing to try spawn Malbatross and spawned them on like the 3rd or 4th fish. Now this fight is very short, so I'm just going to play the whole thing. Malbatross attacks by sweeping her tail towards you. This can push your boat. If you get really close to her, like I'm doing, I lure her really deep into the boat, then I go right on top of her. That way, that makes her tail swoosh attack not as powerful, so it doesn't push your boat as far. She gets low enough HP, she tries to dash across your boat. Now, if you had any sails on your boat, this attack would break your sails if she hit them, but I don't have any sails because I use oars. Oars are good enough. Anyway, I just need to re-aggro her with the ice staff, and then we finish off the fight. Now, she doesn't drop anything particularly good, but the blue gems can be nice if I don't have enough blue gems for Crab King. We actually made good time. I need it to rain like right now, though. I need it to rain. Oh! Oh, I'm so good at the game. I'm a god. So because it started raining as I predicted, I killed the lure plant, fueled my bull kelp addiction, hung some bull kelp for her, and then finally gave her an umbrella in the morning. In preparation for summer, we're going to build a fling-a-mag roughly in the middle of the base. Actually, it's not roughly, it's exact. The base setup I have going here is actually designed and planned. I'll put the finished base design on screen now so you can copy it if you want. This entire base fits inside one fling-a-matic range, so it's pretty nice, and I use it for all of my short-term worlds. It is time I create an army of bunny men. I'm just going to destroy 4 bunny hutches so that I can build 2 bunny hutches on the surface, because, you know, I've had enough of those basilisks, and now I have a little bit of downtime right before the Moonstone Event. When evening time strikes, bunnies come out of their houses, and basilisks come out of the cave sinkholes, and they're naturally aggressive against each other, so they'll kill each other. Also, not that I ever die, but I also created a meat effigy since I had the beard hair for it. A meat effigy, if you die, a button appears which allows you to revive yourself, and you spawn where the meat effigy was, except it destroys the meat effigy. Oh, would you look look at the time, it's a full moon and I'm getting a hound attack. So we put the Starcrawler staff inside the Moonstone after repairing it, and we've placed the final few fossils so that the werepigs and hounds will try to go around the walls, but then they'll get stuck on the fossils. Now I've seen some people question how this setup works, so let me explain it. So when the hounds and werepigs spawn, what they're trying to do is get to the Moonstone and start attacking it. Now the hounds and werepigs see the walls as obstacles, but they don't see the fossil fragments as obstacles. So to the hounds and werepigs, it looks like all they have to do is go around the walls and they have a direct path to the Moonstone. That's why they don't just break through the walls, because they think they have a path. But since the fossil fragments have collision, they just get stuck on the fossil fragments. And there we go, we've got a nice moon staff. Now since I don't have a lot of horns, I'm going to use the deconstruction staff on my Morning Star because it required a Vault Goat horn to make, and by deconstructing it, I get the Vault Goat horn back. And now we're back in the ruins. Because I want to fight Ancient Fuelweaver, but before I can kill Ancient Fuelweaver, I need the Ancient Key from the Ancient Guardian, which is another boss. But I'm also going to take this time to mine some statues to gather some more Thulsites so that I can make some Thulsite crowns. So ever since they added Wander, this boss has become a right pain, because before with some skill you could get 5 hits in every time he charged, but now they've changed it so you can basically never pull off that 5-hit strat, so you can only do like 2 hits before having to move, which makes this fight really long and annoying. And I think it would be a great idea for them in the future to update this boss. But anyway, for now, this is how we have to kill it. So first, I will say I never use cheese against bosses in these speedruns, simply because I don't think it's very impressive and I don't think it'd be that entertaining either. But a way to cheese this boss is you can get him stuck on a pillar, or you can get him stuck between 1 or 2 gravestones, but the Ancient Guardian arena doesn't always generate with gravestones, so the pillar one is more consistent. But since I'm not cheesing, I'm going to try kill him the legitimate way, so I have to bait out a charge, then catch up to him, hit him 2 or 3 times, and then do the same thing, dodge the charge and then hit him. Anyway, skipping to the end of the fight, Ancient Guardian's dead, and we got his ornate chest. Also, I'm going to feed his meat to my shield and helmet. Oh, I didn't really say, but the shield and helmet I got both from the Twin Terrors and the Eye of Cthulhu, and you can refuel them by feeding it food. What did we get in the chest? Eee, a lazy explorer, nice. We didn't need it because we were about to make our own anyway, but I guess I'll take it. You can see now that if I allowed cheese in this run, I could have cheesed the Ancient Guardian in autumn and got a lazy explorer, like way before winter, so it's kind of a big deal whether you cheese the boss or not because it drastically changes the run. So then we're going back to that forsaken 8 Thulsite statue room, killing the bishops and then looting it up for all of the Thulsite. So now all we crafted is a lazy explorer, another construction amulet, and a lot of Thulsite crowns. In fact, too many, but whatever, it's fine. And we're also taking the ancient key back to the cave entrance because we need that for Fuelweaver. And back on the surface, it is now summer, and I am making my sanity food ready for Fuelweaver. We have a nice selection of ice cream and cooked cactus. Ice cream give you 50 sanity per one, and cactus give you 15 per one. Oh good, it's a nurse spider. Just because I know people are going to comment, there you go, I killed a spider queen. She's not a very good boss, she only has like 2,500 health, so there you go, I killed her as well. And now, I'm sure as hell not going to do any fishing in the Oasis Pond to be able to get the Desert Goggle blueprint, so I slowly walked my way through the desert, found Antlion, cast a Mooncaller's staff to keep my thermal stone cold, and then I cast a Starcrawler's staff a little bit further away so that I can cook my cactus so that I won't be insane during the fight. Speaking of the fight, let's go. Feed him a very cold thermal stone and the fight begins. Now even though I don't have the desert goggles, so I'm moving a lot slower, I can still dodge the sand pillars. You just have to barely move to dodge them, until you know, he spawns too many and he traps you in. At which point you can destroy the sand pillars, but I just choose to tank so that he dies faster. And also, if you stop attacking Antlion for a while, he'll start eating rocks, which heals him. But anyway, he's a very easy boss. He literally died before I finished commentating. Now I need 11 cactus flowers for the Crabby Lady's quests, but mainly I was getting cactus for a fight. Then the second I come into the caves, I'm greeted with a monkey, and for a split second I think he stole the ancient key that I left here, but he didn't steal it. The ancient key is right here. If you didn't know, these monkeys will follow you, and if there's an item dropped on the floor, they will steal it and keep it in their inventory, meaning you need to kill them to get it back. So sometimes the monkeys can be really annoying. It's Fuelweaver time! So we've head back to the atrium, and we've just speed ran through it, and this time I didn't die. Now we're going to use those 8 fossils that we gathered earlier to make a skeleton, and this is one of the boss fights where a weather pane is not crucial, but it helps out a lot. And you can see I am utilizing the Bee Queen crown. This helmet inverts sanity auras, so the Fuelweaver usually drains your sanity very fast, but the Bee Queen just reverses that at half the effectiveness. So my sanity will go up rather than going down. Although I still have some cooked cactus for sanity food just in case. Otherwise, this is probably one of the most mechanically complex fights in Don't Starve Together, and if you mess up, you basically have to restart the fight. So let's briefly go over all of his attacks so you know what's going on. So phase 1 lasts until Fuelweaver hits 10,000 HP. He starts with 16,000. During this phase, he has a basic melee attack where he just swings his skull at you. Another attack where he'll trap you in a bone cage. This is why I brought armor and a lazy explorer, since if I don't need to escape, I'll just tank Fuelweaver until the bone cage disappears. If I do need to escape, then I'll teleport out with the lazy explorer. But then, once he hits 10,000 HP or less, he enters phase 2. Now he keeps all of the same attacks as before, except he adds 2 more attacks. Well, they're not really attacks. One of them, he spawns a bunch of minions, which all heal him for 400 HP each. They all have 1 HP, so that's why we have the weather pane. We're gonna gather them all up and then kill them with 1 cast of the weather pane. You'll also see me lure Fuelweaver to the corner of the room, because the minions spawn in an area around the middle of the arena. So if I pull Fuelweaver to the corner of the room, the minions have to travel for the longest time to get to him, giving me a better chance at killing them. And then another attack where he will summon Shadow Hands. These Shadow Hands give Fuelweaver a shield, and you have to break the Shadow Hands to get rid of the shield. But the catch is that you have to be insane to be able to see the hands. But we don't actually have to go insane, we could just equip the Nightmare Amulet to become temporarily insane just to kill the hands, which only have 1 HP. And it's in the second phase where the Lazy Explorer becomes a lot more crucial, because I want to teleport out of bone cages to be able to kill the minions so that Fuelweaver doesn't heal. And now, the Ancient Fuelweaver. That wasn't too bad, right? So yeah, with enough practice, Ancient Fuelweaver is actually like pretty easy once you know what you're doing. It's only when you don't know what you're doing is where Fuelweaver becomes troublesome. Fuelweaver's done. He drops a helmet which acts as a Nightmare Amulet. It makes you temporarily insane, and it also makes shadow creatures passive towards you. Then Bone Armor negates 1 instance of damage every few seconds. And we're gonna leave. So next I'm going to start a little butterfly collection, exactly 10 butterflies please, and some marble, the cactus flowers I grabbed earlier, and then we're going to go to Pearl's Island. I'm sorry Pearl, these berry bushes are not planted very symmetrically, but you know, it'll do. Here you go Pearl, chow down on this flower salad while I repair your house. This is where you needed the 10 cookie cutter shells, the 10 marble, 10 plank, 10 rope, 5 moonstone, and 10 cactus flower. And then, what the heck is that? No. Okay. I thought my boat was on fire, but it's just a tree. Pearl, I will save your island. Because I am a nice boy. Then with the bottle we got, we're going to buy a pinch and winch blueprint, which we need for, well, later. But we also need it right now. That's why I pre-crafted it, and I have the ingredients to pre-craft it again. Because one of the tasks is picking the little bits of litter all over the sea around Pearl's Island. So I finished grabbing all the litter, and then I swiftly dumped all of the litter onto Pearl's Island. I'm sure she'll appreciate that. Oh, give me the pearl. Now. Gimme. Yes. Friends! Wow, it's very bright over here. Is there something on fire? Oh, it's just Chester. Never mind. So I needed this pearl for Crab King, but we're not killing Crab King yet. We're heading back to the caves with all of our weather panes because now it's time for Toadstool. Now this fight is kind of long and boring, so I'm going to explain it, but then we're just going to skip through it, okay? So Toadstool you can find in one of 3 spawners in the caves. We found him earlier. You have to chop him 2 or 3 times with an axe to force him out of his hole. He has 52,500 health, so he has the highest HP of all the bosses that we're going to fight in this run. And he is a boss where you can pretty consistently just not take any damage throughout the fight, but the fight is just very long. In phase 1 he has 2 attacks. One where he summons boom shrooms, which are those little mushrooms that explode over time. These do really heavy damage, but as you can see, they're really easy to dodge because they take forever to blow up. Then he has a more interesting attack where he puts a spore bomb on top of your head. After about 4 seconds it will explode, which leaves a green patch on the floor. This green patch does a small amount of damage over time, but it also spoils anything in your inventory you're wearing or in your backpack. So back when Wolfgang scaled directly with hunger, I would have to keep a small amount of food in my inventory to make sure that it all didn't spoil, and that's why I have a chest built, because I would have all of my extra food in the chest or fridge. He spawns these trees. Now these trees, you basically have to get rid of them. Depending on the amount of trees that are active, Toadstool gains various buffs, including movement speed, the amount of boom shrooms he summons, damage reduction, among a few other things, but those are the main ones. And so, yeah, so you have to get rid of them, and his attack move that spawns those trees go on a cooldown. So you want to get rid of them as fast as possible so you can deal as much damage as possible. That's why we have weather panes, because one cast of a weather pane will knock down a tree no problem. And then here we have entered phase 2. You can tell because Toadstool screams and then drops a shroom skin. Phase 2 is the same as phase 1. It's just that he's currently at 2/3 of his max HP. Skipping forward, we have entered phase 3. Now phase 3 things change a little bit. He spawns more boom shrooms and he gains a new attack. This new attack is he will stomp in a large area of effect around him, although the animation makes it look like he stomps a really wide area, but the actual area that will do damage to you isn't that big. So it just means you have to kind of predict the attacks and dodge, because if you get hit by all of his attacks at once, that's a lot of damage. But since his stomp goes on cooldown similar to his other attacks, usually you can pretty quickly figure out a pattern as to when he's going to stomp, which is typically with every 3rd round of boom shrooms. And about 3,000 years later, he's finally dead. That last clip I sped up by 1,000% and it still took 20 seconds for it to play out. So yeah, this fight is just long and a big resource sink because it takes a lot of dark swords and a lot of weather panes. But anyway, if I didn't kill Malbatross yet, I would use these mushrooms to make the fishing baits rather than digging up mushrooms to make the fishing baits. But otherwise, this boss is kind of useless for this run. Now, I will say, there is a misery version of Toadstool where it's the exact same fight, except he has 99,000 HP. So I was telling my Twitch chat that if I got enough weather panes, I would do Misery Toadstool, but I just didn't have enough weather panes to do the entire fight. I would need about twice as many weather panes to do Misery versus the normal Toadstool. Thank you, Mooncaller staff. You served me well, but now I'm going to deconstruct you for an iridescent gem, and I also get living logs back. Speaking of living logs, you know that I said I didn't think I had enough? Well, on my way to the archives, you have to travel through this mushroom biome, and in this mushroom biome, there are these little mushrooms that can spawn, and guess what? They have a chance at dropping. Well, they always drop 1 living log, but they have a chance to drop 2 as well. So that's good to know. I only got 2 tree guards in winter, but like I still have enough living logs now because of the mushrooms. And someone in my Twitch chat told me you can break these husks, and then when you activate the archives, the husks won't come to life, so they won't bother you. Speaking of activating the archives, let's insert that iridescent gem we got from deconstructing the Mooncaller's staff. Yup, that sounds dangerous. So what just happened? We just activated the archives, which caused shadow creatures and the moon version of shadow creatures to start fighting out in the mushroom biome. And so also big tip, do not wear any kind of shadow equipment while you're in the mushroom biome after the archives have been activated. Otherwise, the greater gestalts will hit you extremely hard. Anyway, we clicked on the Fountain of Knowledge to get some distilled knowledge. I only need to unlock one of these for a blueprint. But to unlock the distilled knowledge, we need to do a quick memory game. But once that's done, we get rewarded with a blueprint, which we learn, and then we're gonna peace out. And now I could have sworn I had a beefalo horn, but I couldn't find it. So I do want a beefalo hat for the Crab King fight, because it allows me to get in a lot more hits and use less resources. So do you want to guess how many beefalo I killed? Go on, guess. Guess. See if you can keep count. Yeah, 13 beefalo, and accidentally killed a baby beefalo as well. I am so sad. I killed so many beefalo that some Krampi spawned. Unfortunately, I didn't get a second Krampus sack. But yeah, a beefalo horn has a 25% chance to drop, and I had to kill 13 beefalo. So, yeah. On the plus side, look at all that meat. Now it is time for the king of the crabs, the Crab King. This is why we needed the Hermit Pearl, because to spawn Crab King, you need to spawn 9 gems into him. And if you don't socket the Hermit Pearl into him, he doesn't drop the Celestial Tribute, which is one of the Celestial altars that we need to spawn Celestial Champion. Now, this is also a pretty damn complex fight, and it's really easy to mess up, especially if you're soloing. So let's go over Crab King's attacks. Surprisingly enough, Crab King never directly attacks you. He just tries to sink your boat. So the first and most common attack is his geyser attack. This will spawn a bunch of geysers below all of your boats in the area, and if you don't stop the attack, it will poke holes in all of your boats. Now, it's completely unrealistic to patch all of the holes that he makes in your boats, so instead we're going to cancel the attack using ice staffs. So if you freeze Crab King before he lets out the attack, then it cancels the attack entirely. Now, once you damage him enough, he goes on to the next phase, where he unlocks 2 more abilities. One ability where he summons 6 claws around him. These claws are like heat-seeking missiles. They'll try to find your boat and then clamp onto your boat, which initially does some damage to your boat and does damage over time. And if your boat takes too much damage, it breaks and it sinks, and then you have to restart the fight. So my boat positioning is very specific at the start of the fight, so that I only have to deal with 2 crab claws. Then usually pretty soon after he summons claws, he will try to heal himself by lifting up rocks and trying to repair his shell. These rocks heal for 750 if he pulls it off. For reference, one of my attacks do 136 damage. So the way to cancel this is to hit him more than twice in 1 second to break the rock. Therefore, he can't heal with it. So that's why we have Weather Panes. Weather Panes hit multiple times in 1 second, so we're going to cast a Weather Pane or 2 on Crab King while I deal with the crab claws. Then he has an ice attack, where he has a long wind up for the attack and freezes everything around him. But he also tries to drop your temperature to below 0. This is why we have a beefalo hat. If you don't have any kind of insulation, your temperature drops to 0 and you start taking a bunch of freezing damage. So because I have a beefalo hat, I can stay close to Crab King for longer, meaning I can get in about 6 more attacks. So now that you know what's going on, let's start the fight. Oh, I forgot. the king, not the crab. Me. Well, thanks, live commentary, Jakey, for that. But anyway, we don't care about any of these drops except the one that's hanging out in the water there. So we just put down the pinch and winch on the boat, and then we can just quickly grab that. That is the celestial altar, and now we need to take that and the other altars to the lunar island. But wait, what other altar pieces? So remember that beefalo that I used in autumn to move the shadow pieces? Let's find out which one is he. Oh, there he is. So he made lots and lots of babies over here. But we need his help once more. Even though Mighty Wolfgang can move statue pieces and heavy objects himself, the beefalo is still faster, so I'm going to use the beefalo. And I need to grab this special orb that spawned at the latest at day 50 in one of the meteor biomes. So you know that blueprint we unlocked from the archives? It's the astral detector. We're going to use the astral detector to detect some astral pieces, which act as lunar altar pieces, which we need to spawn Celestial Champion. So I loaded all of the pieces onto the boat, and then I took them over to the lunar island. There's also 3 altar pieces on the lunar island itself, which you have to mine out and then move. Then let's plant all of these altar pieces in an inconspicuous triangle. Oh, we've angered the moon again. Oh no. So now every night is a full moon until we kill the Celestial Champion. So how do we do that? Well, you'll see on the map there is now moonstorms. We need to gather some materials from the moonstorms, and we need to complete 3 moonstorm events to get extra materials. Now during this event, you need to gather tools for a certain someone so that he can complete the science experiment to give you the materials. And there are constantly birds flying down that are trying to damage the science experiment, and if they damage it too much, the science experiment fails and you have to restart. How am I going to do so many things at once? Well, we're going to recruit some bunny men. So I'm going to have the bunny men kill the birds while I gather materials and give the certain someone some tools. But before we do any of that, as soon as I get back to land, we hear a familiar roar. Yep, it's Bearger. Did I say that right? I think I did. So it's day 77, so Bearger, it wants to spawn because he's spawning a little bit late. So we execute him pretty fast because, you know, we're on a time crunch. At this point in the run, I'm thinking I can maybe beat my personal best if I'm quick. So let's go. I go into the caves to grab some more bunnies and some carrots so that I can recruit them to help me with the Moonstone events. Now for the Moonstone event, you need to make some astragals. These astragals require moonglass, which I forgot to pick up on the lunar island, but I went back and grabbed it. But they also require a potato. Now before, I would have to farm to get this potato, but now, absolutely meta changing. When you build your mighty gym, you get 2 sacks of potatoes, which you can hammer for 1 potato each. So now I don't need to farm. Then we head straight to the Moonstone events, and my plan is going flawlessly. The bunny men are killing the birds while I gather tools and gather other materials. This is a big time save because normally I would kill the birds myself, do the Moonstorm events, 3 of them, then I gather the materials afterwards. But doing it this way, I do all of it at the same time with the help of the bunny men. Yes! Goodbye, we're done. Off we go. Goodbye. The last event is complete. I have all the materials I need, so now I just need to go spawn Celestial Champion and then kill him. You'll notice I'm bundling up the moon shards. That's because they spoil quite quickly, although they did change them so they don't spoil as quickly, but you still need to bundle them up. Chester, don't walk on the spider nest. He's gonna walk on the spider nest. Gosh darn it, Chester invited 3 spiders to my boat party. Get out of here, it's my boat. Alrighty, let's build. Incomplete science experiment. Then we just need to upgrade it a couple of times, and then here comes Celestial Champion. Now this is the final battle, so just know all of this guy's attacks really hit really hard. Otherwise, I'm gonna play the entire fight. boss is so easy, what the heck? Ah, nice, man. Well, look at all the crowns I have left over. Oh. Phase 2! Phase 2 is a lot more dangerous because now he does a spin attack. This spin attack, without like Soulsight crowns, is pretty damn deadly because it does heavy damage and it can stun lock you, but a Soulsight crown prevents you from being stun locked. Otherwise, you just have to be careful about where you're standing so you don't get caught in this spinning attack. Celestial Champion, can we just pause for a second? I'm feeling a bit weak. I need to do some working out, please. Hold on, just 1 second. Let me just lift my gem bell. No problem. Look at that, nice. 90 might-ness, good enough. Let's continue. Alright, well, at least phase 2 wasn't that bad. Alright, well. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to trick you. Yeah, there's another phase, you guessed it. Phase 3, this is where the weather panes come in, and the Glomagoop. In phase 3, you gain a lot of luminosity, and if you gain too much, it makes it easier for Celestial Champion to put you to sleep. And I'm going to be using the weather panes to break these pillars that he makes, because these pillars, if you stand too close to them, they put you to sleep. Otherwise, his laser attacks hit multiple times, and they hit really hard. And he's real slippery. As you can see, he likes to run away a lot. Uh-oh, that could have been bad. There it is, day 83.75. New record. Yeah, baby! Nice! We've reworked Wolfgang nonetheless. Dang it, I was meant to say this rework is bad, but I beat my record. Did I bring an extra dark sword? Oh, I had 2 extra dark swords, there you go. Now let me claim that beautiful celestial crown. Where's my beautiful crown? Oh, wait, I'm very insane. Interesting. Alright, I'm not putting all this back. Whoa, no way we did it! We're so good at the game! Holy guacamole! Let me just run all the way back to the base while flicking my mag. Hold on. 83.75. Damn it! I didn't think I was gonna actually beat my record, dude. Now, if you would like to be as okay at as me at the game, my beginner's survival guide is currently an hour and 40 minutes long, and I still need to edit it. Whoa, no way, we did it! Woo! Oh, amazing! We're so good at the game. Thanks for watching. Krampus sack. Yeah, we got a Krampus sack as well, but we didn't use it, so we didn't. See, if I used the Krampus sack, people would have been like, wow, you only got the record because you used a Krampus sack. Well, so yeah, I didn't even touch the Krampus sack. I undid the bundle, got a Krampus, and I was like, cool, and I didn't touch it. Look at all these crowns I had left. So I could have not got as much Thule Sight. I could have not gone to the ruins. I stayed in the ruins for so long to get so many crowns. Okay, so I could have maybe killed like 1 less Moose Goose family to save a little bit of time. New Wolf over Old Wolf. Nah, Old Wolf is better. Easy. And that's the run. Overall, the Wolfgang rework is fine. It's perfectly fine in my opinion. Now, for a player like me, Old Wolfgang is still way more powerful because of the speed bonus, and you don't need to waste time getting mighty. All you have to do is chug food. But as you can tell, I broke my record, so it can't be that bad. Overall, the pre-rework Wolfgang was stronger and arguably better, depending on who you ask. The pre-rework Wolfgang used solely food as a resource for damage and speed, but the reworked Wolfgang uses food as a resource, but not as much, but also uses time as a resource to get mighty. Therefore, he's more friendly for someone who's like a casual or like more beginner friendly, since you don't need to chug all of the food. But ultimately, all this change does, it makes him a little less mobile. It makes him very sluggish in the early game until you get some speed bonus. But overall, the rework is definitely a nerf, for sure. Anyway, thank you for watching. This was great fun to stream live on Twitch. Also, my beginner's guide is almost done, so I will have that out around Christmas probably. So like the video if you want, subscribe if you want, and you can comment down below your favorite boss in this run if you want. So yeah, thanks for watching. I shall see you in the next video.